you are wondering how it's going to be, how God is going to be able to navigate his way through to get you to meet your husband, today's video is for you, because today we're going to be discussing about how God led me to my husband. So if this sounds like what you want to hear, I would like you to please stick around to the end of the video, because there are a lot of things that we are going to be learning in this video today. So it all started when I was in school and I was a chorister then and still a chorister now. My husband was also in that environment and he just came to come and join us in that church. But meanwhile, we were not friends at all. I didn't know him, but he was just around while I was busy serving God in the choir. So it all happened one day. There is a program in my church we call Wolf B. It is a Bible school. So I decided to just attend that Bible school. He too enrolled and also attended that Bible school. We were just seeing ourselves, we were not friends. As a matter of fact, if somebody had come to ask me if I knew him, I would have said no, because there was no communication of any kind. So one day, as I was coming from school, I saw him. We just greeted ourselves as somebody, just a member thing. Somebody I see in church, we greeted ourselves and we just went our separate ways. From there, I just took notice of him as somebody I know in church because of that experience. And at some particular time, I was no longer seeing him around in church. So of course, we are not friends. So it was not even something that would come to my notice for me to ask about him. And life just continued. But meanwhile, as at this time, I was already praying to God for his ordained partner, for his ordained husband for me. So a time came, I rounded up my academic session and it was time for me to, leave that environment. But so because I didn't have my result yet, so I decided to quickly go to Lagos to learn a skill so I will have something doing. I went to Lagos. I spent 3 months in Lagos and I returned because I didn't have the leading in my spirit to leave that environment. Already giving out myself to the service of God. Marriage was not something that was a big deal to me, even though I wanted to get married, but it was not something I was holding so dear to my heart, because I knew that God loves me so much and he will not give me to somebody that is not his will for me. So a time came and God led me to go and join a group. It was a prayer group, and the time that group meets was also the same time that I used to go for my choir rehearsal. So I didn't really want to go, but I said, Lord, if this is something you are actually leading me to go and join, I want to also be effective in the choir. But I got to realize that when I eventually went to go and join that group, I was no longer able to be punctual in the choir. But it happened that even when I will be in my house by 1 a.m. in the night, 12 a.m. in the night, my choir leader will call me to take up a function, even when I was not able to meet up with choir rehearsal. So with this, I knew that God was interested in me staying in that environment. But meanwhile, my husband and I will be under the same pastor. So a time came that the time we now meet in that group was shifted to another time and another day. So as at this time now, I was not able to meet up with choir rehearsal. So on this day, this is me in choir stand for choir practice, and my pastor sent someone to come and call me. And when I got there, he asked me if I knew somebody called Israel. I said, I don't know somebody called Israel. He said, you mean you don't know anybody called Israel? I said, I don't know anybody like that. He said, Pastor Israel. I said, I don't know anybody by that name. And he said, but the person said he knew you. I said, I don't know him. And he started describing the person. And I was like, oh, someone we attended Wolf B, that is Bible school together. I said, oh, I can remember now. But I told him, we are not friends. I just knew him as a member also in church. So he said, okay. The person asked me to give him your number. I said, all right, you can go ahead and give him my number. So when I go home, he called me, we greeted ourselves, and he just told me that he wanted a relationship that would lead into marriage. Simple and straightforward. And I was like, okay, I am going to pray about it. And when I dropped that call, I called my pastor to tell my pastor what my husband said. And he said, okay, as it is right now, I am not telling you to marry him, neither am I telling him to marry you. Go and pray. While he too, I will tell him to go and pray. I am not telling you that he is your husband. I am not telling him that you are his wife. Go and pray. These were his words. So, and I already prayed to God even before my husband came. This was my prayer. I said, Lord, when this person eventually comes, I want you to give me this peace that passes all human understanding, that there will be no doubt in my heart that this is the person. That was my prayer. So when he came, I observed this peace that actually passed all human understanding. This peace in my heart concerning him was something that was actually so unusual. This peace was not based on what he had, because as at that time he just got enrolled into the ministry. There was nothing. But something I noticed then was that the more I want to pray, the more I feel this peace in my heart, the more I felt that there was no need for me to pray this prayer. So I felt very relaxed, I felt very calm, very still in my heart concerning this matter. And of course, I have met some other people. I've met some other, but in this case, it was totally different. And within me, I felt this peace, this stillness, this calmness, no resistance of any kind. My heart totally accepted my husband. So when I started noticing this, I didn't still go to my husband to go and tell him yes. I had to report back to my pastor. I said, Sir, the more I pray, this is what I experience. My heart is telling me to say yes. And they said, okay, if your heart is telling you to say yes, go ahead and say yes. So that was how I called my husband. Because I wouldn't just come and meet him and say yes. I said, okay, repeat what you said the other day. So he repeated it and I said yes. So that was how I accepted this proposal. And about 6, 7 months, we got married. So this is my story, my journey of how God led me to my husband. So if you learned anything from this story, from this experience today, so please don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, comment, and share to everyone who you think are in need of this kind of message. Thank you once again for stopping by. God bless you richly. See you in my next video. Bye.